Hello again, chaps and chapettes, how are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always, apart from you know who. Has it ever crossed your mind, guys, as to why certain sexual deviants in UK prisons today never quite seem to get the comeuppance that they deserve and that we'd like to see dished out while they're serving their prison time? A PDF file, for example, is very seldom in the news or in the newspapers about being beaten black and blue in the gym or some other nefarious place within the prison. Now, like you, I was always under the impression it was because they were in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day, only being let out for a piss, a shit, some food, and a quick walk around the courtyard, that kind of a thing. But that doesn't seem to be the case if this report that I came across earlier tonight has anything to go by. A report under the headline of PDF file prisoners converting to Islam for protection by Muslim gangs, new report suggests. Paedophile prisoners are converting to Islam to receive protection from Islamist gangs. A new report into the state of Britain's prisons has been revealed. Giving rise to fears of Islamist radicalisation taking place in Britain's jails, former prison governor Ian Akerson has found evidence inmates serving time for sex crimes against children are avoiding isolation from their peers by converting to Islam. He said, "We're now seeing evidence that convicted sex offenders who in the traditional prison hierarchy were at the bottom of the pile and had to be segregated from the rest of the population for fear that they would be killed by them." Yes, that was my train of thought, like I just said. Locked away in a hole with all the cockroaches, because if one of these convicts ever got hold of one of these people and they knew what they did, God only knows what the fuck would happen to them. Let them have it, for fuck's sake. Jesus, stop protecting people like this. We're now seeing them walking openly in normal locations because they've come under the protection of Muslim gangs. Commissioned by Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick, the analysis found governors have lost control of the inmates as contraband flows into prisons, including mobile phones used to spread Islamist hate. Akerson told the GB News, "We've got about 230 terrorist offenders. We have a large subset of prisoners deemed at risk of radicalisation, and they're in very close proximity to more traditional organised crime. Where those two groups put together, it is absolutely rational to think that they will cooperate in some way, then we have a serious problem." Now, just a couple of things to pick through here, guys. UK prisons, right? It's not cheap to keep a prisoner in a UK prison. It costs thousands upon thousands of pounds per year from taxpayer-funded budgets that go into the prison service. Axel Rudiger, I've mentioned this before. I think it's like 230 thousand for his entire prison stay out of taxpayers' coffers that we have to pay for simply to keep him in a nice warm cell with a PS5, some porn, some hand cream, and maybe some lube. I'm not too sure when he has some good time with his mummy in the showers. But 230 terrorist offenders. I have to ask the burning question, the very, very burning question that's on the tip of most of you guys' lips, I'm pretty sure. Why are we housing them here? Why not deport them back to... I don't give a shit about this born here bullshit. Send them back to their country of origin. They call themselves Pakistani British Muslims. Send them back to Pakistan. We shouldn't have to foot the bill to house terrorists, murderers, paedophiles and rapists, particularly when they are not born here. Now, you've also got to ask yourself another thing as well, guys. Why are these Muslim gangs more than willing to let in known child sex offenders under their umbrella, so to speak? That speaks absolute volumes, if you ask me, because let's face it, some of these gangs are known to be quite predatory themselves, so it stands to reason that they would let these people in under their umbrella, because they are like basically two peas in a pod. You wouldn't go out drinking to a pub with a teetotaler, would you? Much could be the same here. You won't let someone into your gang of reprobates and sexual deviants if they weren't of the same ilk as you. It speaks absolute volumes that they allow them into their inner circle, these dirty, sick, twisted bastards. Now, there is a couple of ways to stop this from happening. There is, of course, like I just suggested, deport these 230 terrorists back to their country of origin. Don't give a fuck if they're born here. I could not care less. Send them back to their ancestral homes. Strip them of their citizenship, strip them of their British passports. They did it with Shemaya Begum, so why can't they do it with these fucking dangerous animals? I have no clue. That's option number one. Get rid of them from UK prisons. Jobs are good 'un. The other one is, of course, to stop the PDF files from going into the inner circle of these Muslim gangs. We can't lock them up. We can't keep them on the streets. So what other alternative do we have? I'm basically hand-holding you to the subject matter at hand here, guys. You know fine well what I'm talking about. Can't mention it on here for obvious reasons. Stupid fucking reasons, if you ask me. That's the other way. Put them against the wall and, yeah, do what you're supposed to do with them. That's option number two. But it still doesn't get rid of 230 terrorist offenders in UK prisons. That is the biggest scandal, I suppose you could say, that we are currently facing. Housing foreign criminals. Deport them back, ancestral homes, bye-bye, no citizenship, no passport, no way back on the boats, particularly if we get a government in with a pair of bollocks. Sorry about that, guys. Mrs. came into the room here and I didn't want to have her on camera. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's my video. Let me know what you think in the comments. What would be your solution to this glaring problem in UK prisons at the moment, particularly with the terrorists and the PDF files? Do let me know what you think in the comments. Keep it civil, keep it clean, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.